if they sign it in front of him, what better witness in court if you need one? So the notary is not even applicable. So there you have it. All the steps from beginning to end for a sweat equity program or a worker equity program. Next time you need help, you just go back to the book and say, I heard that in there somewhere. Now let me go back and look it up now that I need it done. Okay? I'm Joe McNamee. I'm an active real estate investor, and I also teach what I do. I like to always say, I practice what I preach. All right, a little bit about me. I grew up in a household of real estate investing. My mother was a realtor for 27 years. My dad was in construction. We moved into houses. Mom would clean one room. We'd live in the house, and then we would fight the roaches, the rats, and fix the house up, get it ready to sell it. Mom would negotiate the purchase price before we started working on it, and then she would go to a back-to-back closing, buying it and selling it at the end of the whole deal. We'd move out, we'd do it again. I lived in the slums, what we call the war zones today, or the ghetto, or what have you. But that's kind of how I grew up. I learned martial arts. I taught martial arts at the age of 17. I was a black belt. You can understand why, because it was rough. I moved 19 times by the time I was 19 years old. We just bounce. So that was the hard way. I like to call it my blood years, but that was the hard way of doing real estate. And I continued doing that. I joined the Army, spent 20 years there, retired as a CW3, turned down W4 to get out. And I did real estate investing the whole time I was in the service, most of the time in the States, a few overseas deals. They were a little bit scary for me, so I didn't keep doing that. But every time I was in the States, I did it. This is my family here. I have a son who's 30, he's up top left, and a daughter who's 28. That's Mike and Megan. And then next to them, I'm over to the right. Next to them is my 15-year-old daughter, Heather. Heather and Garrett sitting on my wife's lap there, and that's my wife's grandmother to the left. Obviously, that's my wife with Garrett. Heather is 15, and then Garrett is 3. 51, I'll be 52 this year. So my oldest son and daughter, neither one of them are married. They don't have any kids or anything, so we say we're producing our own grandchildren. And also, Garrett came from a trip my wife and I did to Vegas. The conception occurred in the middle of that trip. So now we say what happens in Vegas does not necessarily stay in Vegas. But anyway, they are definitely, this is Diamond, that's Heather's horse. I'm sorry, that's Vicky's horse, my wife's horse. We just bought that horse about 3 weeks ago. And there's Moonshine, that was Heather's horse. She's, like I said, she's 15. When she was 3, she heard me talking to one of my subs. And his wife taught equestrian riding. And she heard me talking to him, and I asked the question, what age should a child start learning? And he said that his wife runs around 7 or 8 years old. So Heather constantly said, when I'm 8 years old, I'm getting a horse. When I'm 8 years old, I'm getting a horse. So Heather got to start learning how to shovel horse manure and all that kind of stuff when she was 8. She bought her horse at, I think she was about 9, and the horse came pregnant. So she got a 2-for-1. That's the baby right there. And we just had to bury the mom about 3-4 months ago. It was pretty tragic, but traumatic, but she was old. And then that's a horrible picture there. That's our office complex where we do a lot of our events and stuff. But that's just a little bit about me and a little bit about where I came from and what we do. I don't know how to turn that thing off. Hope nothing crazy comes up there, Ryan. No secrets or anything come up. I've got 2 college degrees, making money really per se from that. I'm an automotive engineer, and I also have a liberal arts degree. And then I'm the only person, as far as I know, on the planet that has a triple master's in real estate investing. That one has made me some money. But I've done well over 1,000 deals. I've done several residential, and I've done dozens of commercial deals. We've got a few industrial in there also. I sold the same house. The record now is 7 times. So when you control the house and you stay in touch with the whole deal, expect to sell the house over and over again. So we gave Ron a little testimonial not too long ago. We were in Vegas, and we gave Ron a testimonial on. Could you cover that up? Someone cover that up for me so it's up there. Appreciate it. I gave Ron a testimonial, and this testimonial is a little different. I saw all the ones that he had at his office. So ours showed a couple of our side checks. I don't know, it was probably $110,000, just extra money in just a month. That's not our regular money. That's just our extra stuff. But the checks below that testimonial is several different cash flow checks from houses that we paid off with down payment money over and over again on the same house. Does that make sense? I've owed a few $1,000s here and there, $20,000 on some, whatever. But the down payment money and then people moving out, reneging on their deal. I never go back on my word, but when they go back on theirs, we pay off the house, and then the cash flow continues from there. Then we sell it with owner financing, and it's pure cash flow, minus taxes and insurance. But 7 times is our record now. We got a few of them at 6, and I got over 2,200 buyers. And Ron's right. There's a lot of those are crap buyers. There's probably less than 10% that are good. But here's the question: which 10%? It is not the people that you think. Assume the whole world is full of crap until proven otherwise. So my point is, they can tell you they got $25,000 put down. They can tell you they can afford $1,800 a month. And someone else can tell you they got $250 put down, and they can afford $500 a month. But don't believe that, because the people that tell you the least, over and over again, prove to us, when they see the house, they fall in love with it. All of a sudden, all this money comes out of mayonnaise jars and buried in the yard. Grandma moves in and kicks in $15 or $20 or $30,000 on the deal, and she rents a room from them. All different kinds of things happen. So what you think is true is not necessarily true. So don't underestimate. It's kind of like judging the appearance of a person. Do they have private money to lend or not? Okay, same exact rule applies here. All right, I took Ron's training, and then we put it on what I like to call a double shot of steroids. We just went crazy with the things. I could not believe all these things were so easy to do from his training. We had done it the hard way. We spent all this time trying to figure out how to do this stuff and try not to bleed and sweat and cry over deals. And here comes this guy into my life, and it was just so easy, so it clicked with me so well. It was so simple. I got to either do it the hard way still or do it Ron's way. So once I started seeing that, then we just went crazy with the stuff he was teaching us. And we let our creative juices kick in. And so if it's all right with you, I'm going to teach you some of that stuff. It might make you some money, but you may not want to know.
No, go ahead.
You want to hear it? Okay. Kind of thought that might be nice. All right, so this is important. Write this down. The buyer is where most of the money comes from. Duh. Okay, it's not where all the money comes from, but it's where most of the money comes from. So if the buyer is that important, shouldn't you put a lot of effort into getting as many buyers into your life as possible? You might have a small buyers list, and you might have a small amount of houses that you're trying to sell. The more, the better. But here's the crazy thing. The buyers, when you start building a huge buyers list, the buyers are going to start bringing you houses for sale. Now, how is that possible?
Well, over and over again, when you have this many buyers calling you like what we've got, over and over again, they're living in houses that they're renting. They may even sign up for a lease purchase deal. Now, Marion just got done telling you with credit repair that 98% of the people that do credit repair don't know what they're doing. 98% of the people out there that are trying to mimic what we do, lease purchase, don't know what they're doing. So they'll lease purchase a house to someone. They won't collect a big down payment. So the lease purchase tenant still has money. And when the lease purchase tenant is in the house paying rent every month, they don't know that the mortgage needs to be paid on the house. So the owner of the house who's lost their job is not paying the mortgage anymore on the house. Now, what's going to happen to the lease purchase tenant who wants to buy a house through a lease purchase program? What's going to happen to them? They're going to get kicked out. Now, some of them find out ahead of time because the seller, the owner of the house, is talking to them saying, uh-oh,